Welcome to US Briefing. The content of the briefing includes: celebrity chef Michael Chiarello dies of allergic reaction, aged 61. Cemetery that tells of Halifax's naval history hides in plain sight. Frances Haugen blew the whistle on Facebook 2 years ago. This is what happened next. Trump called appeaser by Pence as GOP slings dirt over Hamas, live. From AI to robot butchers, automating the meat packing industry is not cut and dried. Celebrity chef Michael Chiarello dies of allergic reaction, aged 61. The Independent. Cemetery that tells of Halifax's naval history hides in plain sight. CBC. The Royal Naval Burying Ground in Halifax, Canada, is a historic cemetery that remains relatively unknown to the public. Opened in 1783, the cemetery was once the burial site for ordinary Royal Navy seamen, their family members, and workers from the naval yard. Many of the grave markers have disappeared over time, and the cemetery was also affected by the Halifax explosion in 1917. The Halifax Naval Museum provides records related to the cemetery and offers educational tours to raise awareness of its historical significance. Frances Haugen blew the whistle on Facebook 2 years ago. This is what happened next. The Sydney Morning Herald. Frances Haugen, the whistleblower who testified about the social harms of Facebook and its products in the U.S. Congress, claims that major online platforms invested in safety measures after her disclosures, only to later roll them back. Haugen says that any progress made in improving safety has come from government action rather than voluntary efforts by the companies themselves. She also highlighted the lack of transparency laws at the time, which allowed platforms to cut corners. Haugen praised the actions of governments around the world, including the passing of laws and the introduction of whistleblower protection. Trump called appeaser by Pence as GOP slings dirt over Hamas, live. The Independent. Former Vice President Mike Pence has accused former President Donald Trump of appeasing hostile foreign powers, specifically citing his response to the recent conflict between Israel and Hamas. Speaking in Iowa, Pence called out Trump, along with Vivek Ramaswamy and Ron DeSantis, for their isolationist stance and retreat from a global leadership role. Pence argued that this type of leadership signals weakness and allows for increased unrest and aggression around the world. Trump and other top Republicans have blamed the Biden administration for the conflict, linking it to a deal to release frozen oil profits to Iran. The White House has denied these claims, stating that no taxpayer money was involved in the deal and the funds could only be used for humanitarian purposes. Pence's remarks highlight a growing divide within the Republican Party between interventionist and isolationist factions. While Trump and his allies have advocated for a more isolationist approach, Pence and others argue for a continued American leadership role in the world. The recent conflict in Israel has provided an opportunity for these factions to clash, with Pence condemning Trump's response. This divide could have implications for the future of the Republican Party and its foreign policy positions. Overall, Pence's comments reflect a broader debate within the Republican Party over America's role in the world. As the party prepares for the 2024 presidential election, this debate is likely to become more pronounced. The outcome could shape the party's foreign policy platform and its stance on issues such as interventionism, alliances, and global leadership. From AI to robot butchers, automating the meat packing industry is not cut and dried. CBC. The Canadian meat processing industry has been slow to adopt artificial intelligence, AI, automation, and robotics, despite the benefits of improved technology, such as overcoming labor shortages and improving food safety. While the manufacturing sector, including automotive plants, has made use of robotics for several years, the unique nature of working with meat has posed challenges to the implementation of such technology. One such challenge is replicating the human eye and touch, as robots struggle to make precise cuts and differentiate between skin, fat, bone, and meat. However, companies are making strides in using robotics for tasks such as transporting animal carcasses, stacking and moving boxes, and optimizing transportation loads. Startups are also developing solutions to modernize the sector, such as using hyperspectral imaging and AI to understand food chemistry along the production line. Labor shortages have been a long-standing issue in the meat processing sector, and experts suggest that technology could help alleviate this pressure. However, some envision robots assisting workers rather than replacing them, and it is noted that the pace of technological change in the industry has been slow. 5 Indian states to vote in key elections in November. Election panel. Reuters. 5 Indian states will hold elections for their legislatures next month, which will serve as an indication of voter sentiment ahead of national elections next year. The states of Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Telangana, and Mizoram will all go to the polls, with results expected on December 3. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Bharatiya Janata Party, BJP, is hoping for success in these key states, as surveys indicate that Modi is expected to win a third term in the 2024 general elections. However, the BJP faces challenges from opposition parties, including the main opposition party Congress, which leads the India Alliance. Congress currently holds power in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, while the BJP rules Madhya Pradesh and has an ally in power in Mizoram. The regional party Bharat Rashtra Samiti governs Telangana. Who is Hamas and why are they at war with Israel? A guide. The Sydney Morning Herald. Violence has escalated between Israel and the Gaza Strip, with Hamas launching a multi-front attack on Israel on October 7. Hamas militants fired thousands of rockets into Israel, overwhelming its Iron Dome defense system and breaching security barriers. In response, Israel has conducted airstrikes in Gaza and called up thousands of reservists. The death toll on both sides has been rising, with over 700 Israelis and at least 400 Palestinians killed. Hamas is a Palestinian Islamist militant group that operates from and controls the Gaza Strip. It is dedicated to the creation of an independent Palestinian state and has been declared a terrorist organization by several countries, including the US, Australia, and the EU. The Gaza Strip is a narrow strip of land between Israel, Egypt, and the Mediterranean Sea. It is home to over 2 million people and is one of the most densely populated areas in the world. The Strip has been under strict land, sea, and air blockade by Israel since 2007, causing severe shortages of goods and basic supplies. Hamas has the support of Iran, Syria, and Hezbollah in Lebanon, while Israel has received support from several countries, including the US, Germany, France, and the UK. The ongoing conflict is expected to strain relations between Israel and Arab nations, potentially impacting efforts to normalize relations in the region. Live Ukraine-Russia war latest, Russian lawmakers to consider revoking key nuclear treaty. Telegraph. The Russian parliament is considering revoking its ratification of the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, CTBT, raising concerns about a new nuclear arms race. The move comes after President Vladimir Putin suggested that Russia could resume nuclear testing. The US has signed but not ratified the treaty. Meanwhile, Ukraine is preparing for an expected increase in Russian drone attacks this winter, particularly targeting energy facilities. Last winter, attacks on energy facilities caused significant damage to Ukraine's power system. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has expressed solidarity with Israel, as 2 Ukrainian nationals have died in the ongoing unrest there. Additionally, Russian forces shelled parts of Ukraine on Sunday, killing 2 people and injuring several more. Ladies and gentlemen, I am Dr. Six, your trusted observer from the 6 Degrees world. Today, we have a mix of news stories ranging from the tragic death of a celebrity chef to political tensions and conflicts around the world. Let's dive in and analyze these stories together. First, we learned of the passing of celebrity chef Michael Chiarello. It's always sad to lose a talented individual, especially someone who has brought joy to many through their culinary creations. Chiarello's death highlights the seriousness of severe allergic reactions and anaphylactic shock. It serves as a reminder for all of us to be aware of potential allergens and take necessary precautions. Next, we discovered a hidden gem in Halifax, Canada, the Royal Naval Burying Ground. This historic cemetery, with its disappearing grave markers and ties to the Royal Navy, tells a story of Halifax's naval history. It's fascinating how a place of rest can hold so much historical significance and provide insight into the lives of ordinary seamen and their families. Moving on, we heard from Frances Haugen, the whistleblower who exposed Facebook's social harms. Haugen claims that despite her disclosures, major online platforms have rolled back safety measures that were initially implemented. This raises important questions about the responsibility of these platforms and the need for government intervention and transparency laws. It's encouraging to see governments taking action and passing laws to protect users and hold these platforms accountable. In the world of politics, former Vice President Mike Pence criticized former President Donald Trump's response to the conflict between Israel and Hamas. This highlights a growing divide within the Republican Party between isolationist and interventionist factions. As the party prepares for the 2024 presidential election, this debate will likely become more pronounced and shape the party's foreign policy positions. Shifting gears, we explored the slow adoption of artificial intelligence and automation in the Canadian meat processing industry. While these technologies have the potential to address labor shortages and improve food safety, challenges remain. Robots struggle to replicate the human eye and touch when it comes to making precise cuts. Nonetheless, there are promising advancements in using robotics for tasks such as transportation and quality control. It will be interesting to see how technology continues to transform this industry while still maintaining a balance between human workers and automation. On the political front, 5 Indian states are gearing up for elections that will serve as a barometer of voter sentiment ahead of next year's national elections. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's party, the BJP, is hoping for success in these key states. However, they face challenges from opposition parties, particularly the Congress Party. These elections will undoubtedly shape the political landscape in India and have implications for the upcoming general elections. Moving to the Middle East, we witnessed the escalation of violence between Israel and Hamas. The ongoing conflict has resulted in a high death toll on both sides. It's important to understand the roots of this conflict, with Hamas seeking an independent Palestinian state and Israel responding to attacks on its territory. The situation is complex and has far-reaching consequences for the region's stability and international relations. Lastly, in Ukraine, tensions with Russia continue to simmer. The Russian parliament, considering revoking the Comprehensive Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, raises concerns about a new nuclear arms race. Ukraine, on the other hand, is preparing for increased drone attacks from Russia, particularly targeting energy facilities. It's a volatile situation that demands diplomatic efforts to prevent further escalation. In conclusion, these news stories shed light on various aspects of our world, from the culinary arts to historical sites, from social media platforms to political divisions, and from technological advancements to conflicts and tensions. It's essential for us to stay informed and engage in meaningful discussions about these topics. So, what are your thoughts on these stories? I welcome your ideas and questions. Let's embark on this journey of curiosity and exploration together. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.